Welcome. Today we are going to be discussing The Exorcist 3.
Welcome to the Horrorfest. As Sonia said, The Exorcist 3. It was released in 1990. We missed... Oh, sorry. Just want to put that guy down. We missed Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Yes.
Which released in 1977. I never got to see that. While I did hear that The Heretic Second Exorcist is pretty bad, it was directed by John Boorman, and I mean the movies that he's made include Deliverance, which is
good.
A classic movie. Zardoz, that bizarre science fiction thing with Sean Connery.
Oh, yeah.
Bizarre Zardoz, his head floating, shooting. It is bizarre. Sean Connery with his ponytail and his red diaper. And he did Excalibur, which Excalibur was a favorite of mine when I was young, and I think that also got like a 21 age restriction.
Yes, it did. I remember. My parents went to watch that in the cinema.
This kind of a heavy sex scene
and crows picking out eyes and things.
And like hectic guys
Violence.
getting
ultra violence.
getting flippin' stabbed with spears and swords. It was quite graphic, but it was a very, very cool movie.
Yes.
They'll probably remake Excalibur again down there. No, they're going to turn it into a series. That's what they'll
Disney's
do.
going to take it. Disney's going to redo it.
Hey, well, Disney now owns everything, no?
Sorry, I took you way off.
It's fine. I don't mind at all. He also did Hope and Glory, like a Second World War from a kid's perspective. So he's a very good filmmaker.
But you know what?
I don't know if it's... I still want to see it.
I want to see it, yeah.
We're going to make a plan to do it, so maybe we'll still squeeze it in. What's Elizabeth Taylor's husband's name?
Which one? His name was like 8 or something.
The main one, Richard Burton.
Yes.
Richard Burton is in The Heretic, and Linda Blair returns. So I think it's like a kind of a post-Exorcist experimentation. And I don't like reading up on movies. They just, I don't want to know. I want to find it as I go along.
Yes.
But yeah, so Exorcist 2, we'll see if we still get to it.
And then there is one that you said the author of the first one considers to be the official sequel.
Yeah, that's the 9th configuration.
Okay.
Which I didn't even know about.
Which we should maybe look for that then.
Yeah, I don't know where we'll find it. I think he got nominated his screenplay got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Okay.
William Peter Blatty, who wrote the original Exorcist and the novel that it was based on. This Exorcist 3 is based on his novel Legion, which I started reading in mid-90s. I started reading it, but then I never finished it. It's
in the roof.
It's up in the ceiling boxes. We have more books than we have shelf space, so a lot of them up there, so I can't
We can build
hold
a
it out and
house
flash
with our
it.
books.
Maybe I'll ping.
Superimpose.
Yeah. So Legion is the book that it's based on. It has the cop from the first Exorcist. We didn't mention that there was a cop involved as well.
No, we didn't.
But yeah, it was played by Lee J. Cobb in the first one. And in Legion he returns, but he's played by George C. Scott, because I think Lee J. Cobb was dead at the time of this movie's made. But Scott did a very good job. He's like a bit of a grumpy old kind of guy, like he usually is, but he does it so well.
Yeah, he does. He does portray the role very well.
And William Peter Blatty also directed this one, and just the performances overall, it has this like a Paul Schrader kind of a feel to it. Who incidentally also did the beginning. Was it now the beginning or which of the prequels? They made the prequel with Schrader of The Exorcist. And then they shelved it, and they got Rennie Harlan to come remake it, same cast, same location, everything. Released that.
I can't really rate that one.
And then I don't think people really liked it, so they ended up releasing Schrader's version as well. We might chat about this, but I don't know. I'll have to watch them again because they are so vague for some reason.
It's a bit of a.
It's a kind of a blur.
It is.
They blur into one another for me.
It is, yes.
But now we digress.
Yes.
The Exorcist 3. Now, what happens in this movie is. The cop is investigating murders which bear resemblance to the Gemini killer,
yes,
the
which
serial
is a serial
killer
killer
who is dead. So
he was electrocuted.
So that is the dilemma that becomes a big dilemma, because in the psychiatric ward he starts investigating this whole scenario. And this movie has this one classic scene that is always used, this sudden shocker, which is, I'm not going to mention what it is. So when you watch it, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yes.
It's got this very cool scene that. But then people have memed it to death. They use it everywhere. People repost it. So if you've avoided it, cool.
I think people have seen it so out of context.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that image from the Deborah Logan movie. If you haven't seen it and you actually see it in the movie, it would be so cool.
Yes.
But now, sadly,
if you've seen it, yes.
It's just everywhere. Just like certain head-turning bits in the original Exorcist. It's not a secret anymore, although we didn't mention it then, but now I mentioned it now. So what can you do? On the one hand, it is a bit of a kind of a detective mystery thriller, but then the devil stuff start creeping in, and Father Karras from the original Exorcist, he also pops up again. Which makes the movie very interesting. And you'd think that he died in the first one, but you'll have to now figure out how they managed to bring him back into the story.
And just to clarify that the demon Pazuzu went, when he left the body of Reagan, he went back to Legion.
Okay.
He went back to his Legion.
And what's that? All the demons park off in a clubhouse, plotting man's downfall. What do demons get out of it? Now, when a demon possesses someone, what is in it for them?
I guess the soul of the person.
Do they just enjoy the suffering? What is the?
I think it's more the taking the soul away from God, the spite.
And the interesting thing about this movie as well is, it's not like the original Exorcist where there is someone possessed and the preacher comes to do an exorcism.
That's what makes this movie so cool.
Yeah, so it's not like an exorcist movie.
It's not Exorcist by numbers.
I guess that's why, I mean, the book was called Legion, so it's a different aspect, a different layer to the whole demonic possession thing.
But I think people seem to think that when the demon is exorcised, that the demon dies or it goes away, but it doesn't. It just leaves that person.
What was that movie with, was it Fallen? With Denzel Washington? Where
he can jump.
Or was it the soul of a killer, or was the killer possessed?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Jumps from one. Speaking of jumping into bodies, Brad Dourif is also in this movie. You'll know him better as Chucky.
Yes.
Charles, what was his name? The serial killer whose spirit jumped into the good guy doll, and his nickname was Chucky. Like, everyone always calls the doll Chucky, but meanwhile it's actually a good guy. Chucky is the killer's nickname, the original serial killer. And we've finished the Chucky series, but we still have to get to the review, which we will do.
What I liked about this movie is it's got two very cool sequences. The one we've mentioned, which we'll not give away, but there's another sequence that's also quite scary and made the movie stand out for me.
And it feels like it's sort of the first time that's been done.
I think so.
And I know
definitely.
It has been replicated also so many times.
Yes. But it's such a sick,
weird, creepy
idea.
Yeah. Very cool. So yeah, the movie it's got some heavy drama. It's got some humor as well, because William Peter Blatty, he was actually wrote humorous stuff before he got serious with The Exorcist. So there is lots of sort of banter bits, like the cop and the one priest. They sort of go and watch movies together.
They're good friends.
And it's very much like a pre-Tarantino. Just
lots of sort of bits of conversation.
Regular talking.
Yes, but also which adds to the sort of making the movie stand out.
And it makes it feel more realistic.
Yes.
Because it is such a fantastic supernatural story and theme, demons and stuff.
Especially for the time, 1990? 99. Yeah, I mean
it's not so long ago.
It's still, it feels, it's probably one of the last. Now everything is just a formula. You don't really get real movies anymore. Although something like Mandy that we saw the other night. Oh my!
Yeah, we actually finally got to watch Mandy.
Yeah, I haven't seen a movie in a long time that sort of like blows my head
back. It's just
like
like
that.
literally a trip.
Yeah, but anyways, to come back to the subject, this movie doesn't it's out of place in the era. It's just got so much gravity, and it goes well with the as a companion piece to the original.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that ninth configuration, I'd be interested to see what. I don't think it's really linked at all. So I don't know how that is. That like Blatty feels it's the proper sequel. That's probably now after they did that 1977 Heretic sequel, so maybe it was meaning in that respect.
Yeah.
But
maybe that sequel also only had legs because it had some of the original.
Yeah, that Linda
actors
Blair.
in
So it's kind of a direct. But then it's a direct sequel, but not from the original writer.
And based on the success of the movie at the time, people would have wanted, or they would have sort of looked for a sequel.
No, if something's popular, like I always say, like lots of people, they love the second Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was just so bad. First one, loved it. Sequel came out, was like, oh, you guys just jumped in and
I don't know.
cashed
You
in.
have to love them all. You have to love them all.
No.
You are all my children now.
But if you now have to sit down critically and watch it again and go, oh my lord. Yeah. We always mention Nightmare on Elm Street in almost every single review.
Yeah.
Discussion.
Yes.
What the fuck do we want to say now? Well, we didn't really, we don't just want to give you a synopsis of the movie. We want to give you an idea on how we experienced it. And maybe you'll experience it in a similar way or not, which we'd like you to comment and tell us how you experienced this movie when you watched it. If you feel it still holds up. It's now, 30 years later. So it's also getting it's aging. So we watched it again recently.
Yes.
I watched it years ago, but I don't think I paid too much attention when I watched it. But now we watched it again about a couple of weeks back, and I think it still holds up very well.
Yes, it's brilliant. I was actually, because I've also seen it before, and I think that it really held up well. And also, it's set in a hospital/sanitarium. It's in an age where there's still like the prolific serial killers. It's uneasy. The whole movie just creates this atmosphere of uneasiness. It's not so much that you're scared. It's you are all through the movie. You are definitely, there's scary moments, but you are uneasy through the whole film.
And also stuff like that's not shown, that they just describe like a kid that got killed, and the cop is like upset.
Yes.
And George C. Scott really does it well, and just describing what was done to the kid. So it's like, it's even more vivid than if they had to now get a special makeup effects guy to show it to you.
Like when you use your own imagination.
Yeah, it was
They leave enough. They leave enough for the viewer to still use their own imagination as well, which is great.
But it's got a good pace. It's got drama, horror, some action. It's a good all-round movie, and
there's
still
actually
well
like
worth
quite a
watching.
nail-biting scene as well.
Yeah, there are a couple of standout bits, but if I have to score this, I would give it a 7 or an 8, but I think I'll make it a 7.
Yeah, I'll also make it a 7.
Okay, 7 average for The Exorcist 3.
Yes.
I think it's also, in some spots it's called The Exorcist 3 Legion. But,
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know which parts of the world. It's, different titles always pop up in different parts of the world. Just like Pumpkinhead.
Just scary as all hell.
Freaking cool with Lance Henriksen. Also a whole bunch of crappy straight-to-video sequels that came out.
Yeah.
But that was called Vengeance the Demon in South Africa.
Weird.
For some weird reason. I guess Pumpkinhead, Halloween isn't such a big deal
Well,
in
now,
South
but
Africa.
in those days, people didn't make
It was
the
sort of in
connection.
the late 80s. People didn't. Yeah, so my little side swipe there with movie titles that don't always get the same.
I know, but just the pumpkin head. Ugh.
It's such a cool creature.
It is. It's
And a cool
brilliant.
movie.
It's one of the best creatures for sure.
I think they're remaking it as well again.
Oh,
No?
okay.
Big surprise. Like everything.
Come up with your own things, man.
But let us know if you like The Exorcist 3, if you've seen this and the first one, or The Heretic, the second one. Just, drop some messages and likes. And
Let us know if we should mission to see The Heretic.
we're going to try anyway.
Yeah.
But if you've seen it, warn us if we shouldn't bother.
It's going to cost us, what, 50 Rand?
50 $3. $3 is about 50 Rand.
Yeah.
So, we might still check it out. We're also doing the Exorcist TV series, so that's probably popping up next. So, like, subscribe, and check out the rest of our
Comment.
stuff.
Yes.
Comment, yeah. Bye.
Cheers!